Let's take a look at automatic record creation and update rules a little more closely. So in the settings area, I just select it, and you can see I've created a couple of sample rules here to take a look at. Let's take a look at the second one first. In this case, I'm using email to engage with the customer to automatically close a case. You can see I've named it, I've got a source type here, so that's any type of activity field like an email, an appointment, social activity, a phone call, and so forth. I can assign it to a queue, have some other properties we can look at, and I can set some different conditions under which this rule may or may not execute. Then I define the details of the rule. So that is, if you're familiar with advanced find and workflow, it uses components of both of those to define when a rule runs and what happens when the rule runs. So you can see in this case I said the email subject has to contain the words issue resolution. Maybe this email is automatically generated by a workflow associated with the customer care case that gets sent when the customer care rep sets the case to ready to be resolved. The next thing we check is that the email is regarding a case and the case it's regarding is ready to be resolved. And then the last thing we check is, did the customer reply to the email? Is this a reply email? And did they type the word yes or resolve into the body of the email? So if it meets all of those conditions, then it will go on to do these actions. These actions are either creating a record or some other workflow-like step, in this case, updating a record or changing the case to resolved in this case. So that's one type of automatic record update rule we can create. Now let's take a look at a record creation rule. So back in this list, looking at this one, I'm actually triggering this one off of a social activity. So social activities can be integrated with CRM, and as they occur, activity types of records can be created. Those records can trigger the creation or update of a record in CRM. So social activity gets created. We have additional properties here, so this is other data we can pull in from that record to parse it out and get more information out of it. And now, looking at the details of the rules, my first condition is social activity sentiment value. So sentiment value can be brought in with a social activity, and that measures how positive or negative or neutral a post might be. So I'm saying I want posts that are communicating something negative. Now I'm looking at the social profile of the person who posted it, and I'm saying they have a lot of influence. They have a lot of followers who are engaged with them on the social channel. Then I look at these channel properties. Remember, I got this from the additional properties over here. And I want to find ones where there's a hashtag called SharePoint. So maybe I'm looking for SharePoint posts that are communicating some negative sentiment by influential people, and they're getting some traction because it's been retweeted at least 3 times. So I want to respond to these and create a case to follow up with them to make sure I get these folks satisfied so I can improve the sentiment about whatever product I'm trying to support overall. So I'm going to go ahead and automatically create a case. And that case is going to be able to be automatically populated with some values that come in from that particular activity. And so here you can see the creation form. So that is automatic record creation and updating in CRM.